Chapter 22, Checkpoint. Back on the road, the gears shift and the truck struggles uphill. "We should try and sleep," says Sam, "while we can." I close my eyes, but they're jerked open again as we slam round a corner. I'm full after eating and hold my stomach. It groans as the soup swishes around the inside. The truck brakes. I brace myself for a sharp corner, but the truck keeps getting slower and slower until it's crawling forward. I strain to listen. There are 3 quick bangs against the metal at the front. Sam's eyes snap open. He scrambles up. "Hide," Ness whispers urgently. "Remember what Jimper said." I press the cold metal walls with my fingers, pushing at the floor. It's solid. There's no way we're getting out of here. "Put these on," Ness says, throwing costumes at us. I step inside the heavy material. It's too big and drapes over me. Grabbing a supply sack, I rip open the stitching with a stone and empty the food onto the floor. I throw it to Sam. The truck stops moving. "Get in," I say. He shimmies into it and I stuff bundles on top of him until he's covered. The truck shudders as the engine is turned off. I pull a mask over my face. Outside, I hear muffled voices. The back door rattles. I hug my backpack and wiggle as far into the corner as I can. Ness covers me with piles of material. A musty smell floats around me. The squeaky lock is unfastened. The truck creaks under the weight of the yaks being let out. Boots thump up the metal ramp. A foot slams into my side. I'm knocked against the metal wall, and it takes all my energy not to cry out. This is it. My dragon luck has run out. "Don't you worry," says a soldier. "If there's something here, we'll find it." I hear another thud. He's moved on to Sam's sack. Have they found him? The thuds get quicker and more frequent. Questions race through my mind. I'm as still as I can be and fighting the urge to cough. Dust coats the back of my throat, choking me. "Anything?" asks a voice I haven't heard before. It booms outside the truck. "Just costumes and food," says the soldier from before. "But I can tell he's hiding something." I pulled over another truck. "I need you to search it." "Just a few more minutes in here." "I need you to search it now. Those are your orders." His tone is authoritative. I hear hooves clomp up the ramp and then a thundering noise as the yaks gallop forwards. I squeeze my eyes shut. The door squeaks. I wait for Ness to say something to us. A whisper, a sign. Nothing. Chapter 23, Map. The engine splutters, but I don't dare move. What if there's still a soldier in the back? I'm jolted about. My legs ache and pins and needles shoot through my right foot. The air around me feels smaller and smaller. Finally, the truck slows to a stop. "Safe!" yells Jimper, unbolting the back. "It's safe!" I burst my head through the costumes, ripping the mask off my face. I smile at the yaks. Eve grunts when she sees me. "Where's Sam?" I crawl across the floor, digging through the mess. I snatch at the sacks. He's buried underneath, curled up in a ball. I shake him. "Tash," he says, rolling over. "I'm fine." I help him up and he stretches his legs. Jimper opens the door and I collapse into the sunlight, stiff and thirsty. He passes me a water bottle and I gulp it down. I pour some into my cupped hand and Eve's thick tongue slurps it up. A row of mountain peaks stand in front of me. They're grey and rocky and snow-covered at the top. The air is thin and I feel dizzy. Ness draws her map from her pocket and holds it up for us. There are 3 peaks, 2 small ones, the same size, and then a big one. We crowd around her. You're heading between those 2, Ness says, pointing at the dip next to the bigger one. I nod. You'll see them when you head up from the river, she continues. From then on, you go west. Make sure the North Star is on your right. Mum used to teach me about the stars, but I don't remember where the North Star is now. I was always more interested in the stories that went along with them than actually locating them in the sky. I never thought I'd need to. I tried to concentrate on the directions, but I can't help feeling we are in the middle of nowhere, miles and miles from home. Where's the river? Asked Sam. Go over that hill and you'll hit the river. Continue upstream until you reach the tree that was split by lightning, then cut straight up into the mountains. Sam repeats everything. Ness says under his breath. Keep away from paths. The army patrol this area, warns Jimper. You can't be seen by anyone. It's the only route up to the mountains, and the army will be on the lookout for people trying to escape over the border. They even pay the nomads to be informers. I shiver. It's up to us now, and even when we do get home, it will be different. A man set himself on fire, and nothing will be the same again. Chapter 24. River. Jimper slips a bundle of notes into my palm. Our money. We don't need it, he says, and it's good to meet some young warriors. Thank you, I say simply. Ness runs from the back of the truck, clutching a bag. You'll need this, she says. I peer inside. It's full of precious jerky and barley. Nestled between it are the silver prongs of the gas burner. Take it, she says, climbing back in before we can refuse. Jimper pulls off, sticking his hand out of the window and waving. The truck disappears. We're alone, in the mountains, with one way out. Sam loads the bags onto the yaks. I take Eve's harness and follow him up the bare rock field with craters. It's what I imagine the moon to look like. As soon as we're away from the road, we stop and look at the code again. It has to have something to do with the pictures of a quarter moon, I say, pointing at it. Otherwise, why would it be there? Yes, I think you're right. I grin at Sam. I bet this is what it would be like if we were in the secret resistance together. Sam looks thoughtful. Maybe. We hear the river before we see it, a steady, roaring torrent. It cascades downhill, forming pools at each level. I rush towards it, scoop the icy water into my hands and splash my face. Look out, says Sam, jumping past me in his underwear and landing in the water with a splash. Droplets hit me and I take off my clothes and slide in, washing away the dust and mess. The yaks lap the river water as we dry off in the strong sun. We move more quickly after that, through the rock gorge carved by the frothy river. The yaks carry our supplies and we walk next to them. Birds dip and dive in the water. I need a break, says Sam, resting on a boulder. Dad says it's easier to get your breath back if you take a break by standing still, I say, stopping too. Well, I'm not going to argue with your dad, Sam smiles, but my legs could do with a rest. I perch next to him. A line of ants crosses the boulder. I'm careful not to squash any as I sit down. I know every life is precious.